Someday I'm going away where the wind don't cry.
Hello everybody. So sorry it's been so long since we posted a video. It's been a little bit busy since Hurricane Irma. I've been traveling a lot for work. Been doing a lot of boat projects. We've caught up on fixing the generator finally, which we'll show you a little bit about that. Fixed a leak on our raw water pump impeller housing for our starboard engine, and a bunch of other little maintenance items. Have taken the boat out a little bit. We'll show you some clips of that. And right now Amira is slaving away in the galley, doing some baking.
Oh yeah.
Got her giant KitchenAid mixer that I got her, and I stupidly didn't realize that there was multiple sizes of KitchenAid mixers, and I ended up getting her the largest one, which is so great for the boat.
It's perfect. It doesn't fit anywhere. It's great.
She's making some cookies today. Maybe we'll do some episodes on making delightful dishes in the boat galley.
Bacon on a boat.
So soon we'll be back to posting regularly, hopefully at least once or twice a month. We'll do better for you. Sorry we've been leaving you hanging for the last few months. I think it's been about 3 months since our last video, and we sincerely apologize for that. We'll do better for you, and we'll show you a little bit of a montage of what we've been up to lately, and then we'll get back to adding some great videos for you. Thanks for hanging in there, and we look forward to seeing you more in the future.
Gorgeous one. This is weird. We're never up this early. It's nice. What do you think? Isn't it?
A rough edge land to the softest part of the main, and it's lined with stones tangled in regrets that are just too hard to forget. It's a long hard road through a rough edge land to the softest part of the main, and it's lined with stones tangled in regrets that are just too hard to forget. And there's rusty.
So one thing you want to make sure of when you're docking at a new place is that there isn't a satellite dish hanging into the slip. So we drifted over when we were in the slip and messed up the gel coat. So now I gotta repair that because of that stupid thing that doesn't look like you can even hook up to it anymore. It's just sitting there hanging into the slip, and now it screwed up the gel coat.
It's all my fault.
These signs overlooked on the way to the heart of a troubled man. You can lose yourself in the deep muddy ruts worn through by the pride of a man. Oh, worn through by the pride of a man.
Well, so here's the generator. Right here is where the exhaust manifold usually goes, and here's the old one sitting in a bucket. You can see this powdery crap here. You can see that the manifold developed a little pinhole and was leaking coolant into the exhaust area there. And you can see previous owners have patched this thing up over and over again, and it was just starting to fail. You can see the powdery stuff coming out there. That's the coolant just slowly seeping out. And then let's attach the exhaust elbow. And I ordered this brand new setup here, nice and shiny. It wasn't too easy to get because this is a Westerbeek from 1989, so had to source the part. It took a little while, but unfortunately you have to have a special adapter plate here to go from here to attach to that, and that didn't come with my new manifold, so had to order that new. And while my mechanic was at it, he wiggled my fresh water pump, which goes right there. It was a little loose, and so he determined that the bearings were starting to go and this thing was going to start to fail, and lo and behold, there was a little leak underneath it. You can see all that bare area. The paint has worn away over time, and that's from the coolant leaking out. So why not? I went ahead and ordered a new fresh water pump and new hoses that go to and from the heat exchanger, and then also the thermostat housing. You can see it's all corroded away there. Could have gotten by with it, but while we're at it, might as well replace it. So I ordered a new one of these. So we'll remove this thermostat housing, remove the thermostat, and we should be all good. So pretty much the entire closed loop coolant system will be new. And I've already got a relatively new raw water pump, so that's good. Got a new exhaust hose, that's all hooked up, and I've already acid treated the heat exchanger to clear out all the scale and junk out of there. So once all this is done, this generator should be revived and running good. And so it's got about 3,400 hours on it. Hopefully we'll get a lot more than that. Hey, the generator is operable. Got it all put back together. Well, almost. Just need to put the belt guard on. We'll go ahead and give you a tour of what we did. Finally got the exhaust manifold, the correct one, that needed this spacer plate here. So that's all put back together there. We've got a new hose to the coolant reservoir for, well, it's the expansion reservoir, and it cleaned out that tank so we can see the level in it. And then we've got a brand new mixing elbow, and we have new coolant hoses to and from the heat exchanger down here. So this is a new hose. Then we have a new circulation pump, and we had a little minor setback because when we got the pump, it didn't have the pulley on there, so we had to take the pulley off of the old pump and put it on the new one, and that required putting it on a press and getting it off of there. And then we bolted the new one on, and then went ahead and put a new pencil zinc in the heat exchanger, so that's all taken care of, and we are good to go. I was going to replace this the thermostat housing and the thermostat. The mechanic said it's fine for right now. It's got another couple of years before we have to replace it because this is all seized up, so we've actually got to cut this thing off, and it's going to take some time to get that thing off of there. So we're just going to run the life of this thing. Should be fine for quite a while. And then now you can put the belt guard on the front, and we'll call that a job well done, and then we'll run it later and put a load on it, and we're happy about that. So it's only been almost a year that we haven't been able to use this generator because of this issue, and we're finally back in business.
Oh, cheers.
Oh,
No.
I thought you were handing it to me.
Okay.
All right, so today's little project is to replace the gasket to the starboard side raw water pump. So when we were cruising down to Key West last October, we had an engine overheat on the starboard engine, and I subsequently went straight to the raw water pump and opened it up, changed the impeller and the gasket and put it back together while we were at sea in about 4 to 6 foot following seas. And the raw water pump is on the outbound side of the engine, so not a real easy spot to get to. Real hot in the engine room. I was burning myself on the overheated engine reaching the pump, so I didn't do the hottest job at putting the gasket in there. So it started slowly seeping out some seawater that I noticed recently, so I want that to stop, and we're going to go ahead and take care of that issue. So I'll show you where it is. So there's the starboard side engine, and just for a little bit of the ease of showing you where the pump is located, we're going to look at the port side engine. This is the raw water pump, and so it is on the same side of the engine on the starboard side, so it's outbound, so you have to lean over top of the engine and then right down there, so you can see that white crusty stuff. That's the salt water seeping on out of there, so we don't want that. We want to make sure we've got a good tight seal, so we're going to go ahead and handle that now. Alright, so we've got the cover off of the pump, and you can see the old gasket is pretty gnarly, and that is why it was not keeping a good watertight seal. And then you can see the impeller in there. It's in pretty decent shape, but while we have it open, we're going to go ahead and replace it. It's definitely worth doing. And then we got to make sure we get all the old gasket off of the flange there. Alright, the faceplate is back on. Got the screws back on there. Got the seacock back open. I don't see any initial leaks, so that's good. And I'm going to pour some fresh water on the pump housing there and down there, so we don't have any extra corrosion going on. And then we'll see how it goes when we turn on the engine. Now we're going to check the engine while it's running to make sure there's no leaks on the water pump. Had to tighten down a couple of the thumb screws a little bit more. They're a little bit difficult to get to since they're outbound of the engine in between the batteries. So I had to get some channel locks down there to get a tighter fit. But we're dry. Yeah, buddy. That's what I like to see. No water.
She once ran free with the wind in her hair, breathing hard for the love of a man. Oh, breathing hard.
Somebody just got their first jellyfish sting.
It hurts so bad.
Right there. You can see all those little dots. Nice. It's a sea nettle.